welcome to Pint-Sized OCR, the only podcast in the world dedicated to junior obstacle course racing and produced by UKOCR. And here's your hosts, Libby Joyce and Finlay Greenleaf.
Welcome aboard Pint-Sized Airlines. This is your co-pilot speaking. We're about to take off on a 1-hour adventure, so please make sure your seatbelt is fastened, tray tables closed, window blinds opened, and all belongings are safely stored away. We're about to depart on our way to the world of junior OCR racing, so please sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Got the intros going again.
Yeah, it's a lovely intro, that.
I love how we're always talking about travelling.
Yeah, it seems to be our topic. Recent
For most of ours. Yeah, definitely making the parents go skint.
Yep.
But let's get started. So
yeah,
we haven't actually had much this weekend apart from one race, which was Netherlands Zandvoort.
Mm-hmm.
So that race was amazing. I think the turnout on the Saturday wasn't as good as the turnout on the Sunday, especially for the female side of it. I mean, on the Sunday, I think there was 8 females in the 14 to 17, which when you think about it is a lot compared to what we get in the UK.
Impressive.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. Course was amazing. We were running around the Formula One track. Sadly, not on it.
I'm not all jealous. Wish I was there now.
Yeah, so running around the outside of it because there was obviously cars going around, so we couldn't go on it. But it was still so amazing to run around it. And then obviously we ran on the beach, which was an absolute killer. It was very hard to run on the sand. Even though it rained and it was compact, it was still crazy hard to run on.
Mm-hmm.
But should we talk about the results?
Yes, yeah, I'd love to, especially for those junior athletes who are running out there.
Yeah, so I'll start with the Beast. Sadly, there was only 2 people that ran in the Beast, which was me and Liv. So I came first and Liv came second, and sadly there was not a single 14 to 17 boy racing, which was really sad to be fair. But the next day was a better turnout, I think.
Is there Dutch GCSEs? Is that how that works? They got the same thing as us? I'm not too sure. Dutch GCSEs? I don't know what's happening.
God knows.
There.
But Finn, you can get going with the names because I'm not very good with names.
This is the Super, if I'm correct, yes?
Yeah, the Super.
Perfect. So we'll start off with the lads, 14-17. Jack Roberts took the gold, of course, for England, for GB. Levi Nielsen took second from Belgium, and third was Elias Johanna. So there's your podium for the men. Meanwhile, if you go to the women's 14-17, competitive field, as Libby's already said, and you've probably seen on Instagram as well. But anyway, here are the results. Gold medal going to Nia Rosenberg. Zilva Verps took second. Libby, of course, yourself with the bronze medal. Nova Verps, next position. Lottie Huchenmoor takes the next. Limon Burke. And then last but certainly not least in the age cat is Liv Vilda Christiansen. So there you go.
It was a packed field. And to be fair, we were all really close together. I think the times were quite close because I know, obviously, I spoke to Sylvia at the end and her sister Nova. And them two are both absolutely lovely. They've actually made OCR earrings. And they were so kind to give me some, which I thought was so nice. So, they are really good and nice earrings. But yeah, they were both lovely. And speaking to them as well, and how they race, their races are like consistent every weekend. Like they're like ours, but like obviously they've got the technical side of it. So I think Spartan for them was a little bit different. But I think the field was just ram-packed and it was so good to actually have the competitive side. Because normally when in like the UKs and other countries, there's like 1, 2 or maybe 3 max in 14 to 17. So for there to be 8 females was just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And you said before, sorry, about it being quite a tight field before. Where do you reckon that broke
Yeah.
away? Was that about with the running, or of course being the Dutch? Was it like the obstacles that they kind of like the pack
I
kind of
think
separated a bit more?
so. I think no, because all of us were quite close together. I think there was
Okay.
one or two that struggled a little bit, but they were quite close together. I think first had quite a good lead, and
hmm
then me and Nova. I think there was only a couple of seconds between us.
Yeah, 23. I've got the stats up here. So
Yeah.
yeah, down to the
So
wire.
yeah. So the times were quite close, and I think we all had our different strengths. I think
hmm
there was different points that helped a lot. So it was really, really good.
Yeah, nice. Sounds like a very nice event. Very nice country. Of course, you said about earrings. Dutch, just the nicest people you could ever find. So
Yeah.
yeah, no better place to enjoy a race.
Yeah.
Should we move on then to our next kind of talking topic, I'd say?
Yeah.
So everyone try and like I don't want everyone like I'm trying to huddle people in. You're all listening, you're all hearing us right now, at least I hope so anyway. Of course, for the podcast, we often have our interviews, we talk about the junior OCR world, but sometimes it's hard to talk about it when we don't get what everyone's, I'd say, opinions are. So what we really want to say is if anyone ever has any questions for us, or want to know some info about us or OCR for us or the juniors, our metaphorical digital door is always open. People just send their messages in, maybe message
Yeah.
us, for example, Instagram, Facebook Messenger. Of course, you've got Libby, me, the pint-sized Instagram. Give us a message or even a voice note. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
everyone.
send them in because obviously as race season's getting in, we'll start talking about races that are happening. There's not that many junior races. So we kind of want to fill this first bit in. So if you guys have any questions for us or want us to answer anything that you want to know about junior races or questions about us and our how we've done OCR and all of that, just send them in to either my Instagram, Finn's Instagram, or the Pint Size OCR Instagram. Or if you have any other way of contacting us, contact us.
hmm But don't just scare us in public. Don't just like jump out from behind a door
Jump
and
out
just
from a bush.
yes, yeah.
Oi!
If you said any other way to find us, sounded a bit threatening there at a point. I was a bit like, oh, look across my shoulder next time I'm going down the road, make sure there's no one following me, asking me
Sorry,
questions.
I didn't mean it like that.
And yeah, there you go. But yeah, that's my way of just saying,
Just
everyone,
jump scare Finn in public.
yeah, I prefer that not to happen, but you know what I mean, everyone, just message us, chat to us, because that's the reason we are here is to try and help. Yeah, but a couple of questions in. I mean, Libby, do you want to kickstart us off then? You got one?
Yeah, so I got a message on Instagram, and it was, what was the worst conditions that you have raced in? Which I think is quite a hard one because I've raced in most conditions apart from snow. So I think for me, the worst conditions is going to be Abu Dhabi. I think mainly because it was so hot that it was just like boiling. And I think it made it really hard to be able to run at such a quick speed. And I know I weren't there to race it, but it was still quite hard.
What was the sand like as well? Because it's quite deserty. Was that quite a challenge as well?
Yeah, I think that was really hard. I think the sand was worse because they sent us because it was because they where they put it for the first year, it was the highest sand dune that you is in the world. So I think that was so hard.
hmm I'd say for
So yeah.
myself, sorry, I was about to say,
No, go ahead.
I've got the other end of the spectrum completely. I mean, for me, it's the freezing cold, and it's quite an easy choice. I mean, that'd be probably winter nuts, especially this year. I've done it a
Yeah.
couple of times. People probably saw me. People who were there probably saw me just freezing
Yeah,
to
you
death
got
pretty much
you,
at the
you
end.
yeah, you do get a bit cold.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because it was my first ever like proper adult victory, and you think I'd be really happy and celebrating. I was really happy, but I was too cold to be happy. I think I was just shivering, just wet clothes. I think I got to thank Dave. He like basically resurrected me at one point, just saved me. So yeah, basically that is definitely the toughest conditions I've done because that was just not pleasant. I mean, the cold, your fingers, your body just kind of shuts down. It's hard to run because obviously a wet course as well. So yeah, for me, winter nuts, 100% the worst conditions. And without those people around me, I would have definitely suffered a lot more hypothermia, that kind of that you just don't really like. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, when I first raced winter nuts, I think I did one lap. So, and I did it at quite, I think, because it wasn't that cold when I did the winter nuts. It was like one of them hottish winters. But I think for me, I've kind of just got used to the cold now. So I think for me, it's the other way. I'm not used to the heat.
I love you said at the start that I just did one lap, yeah, just one lap. It's a very casual and easy. Anyone listening who's not done winter
Sorry.
nuts, that is don't
No,
go there.
it's
Oh,
because
Libby just did one lap. Yeah, I'll be fine. I'll just go and I'll wear my swim shorts as well. It's only one lap. Yeah,
no,
why not? Make a
it's
big
I
holiday.
think I've got used to saying, oh, it was one lap because I've done winter limitless,
Yeah, don't
which
don't
is
come to winter nuts in your speedo, everyone. That's not recommended.
no. The only reason why I said one lap is because I've done winter limitless, which is multiple laps. It's like 5 plus. So I think
And you
for
paid for that as well.
me,
You paid for that suffering to do multiple laps. That's what confuses me. I do my one lap. Yeah, I'm done.
I'm taking it. I'm the second female ever to do it.
Well, there you go. Boom.
So, but yeah.
I
So,
got a question myself as well. Actually, I'm very excited to share. Not just a question. I got a voice note. So
ooh.
popular person. You see, Flynn Stewart sent this in, and without further ado, here you go.
Hey, Libby and Finn, really love the podcast. Well done. Sorry for the length of this question, but this is a topic that's very close to my heart. After your interview with Matt Brook from Spartan, I wanted to ask a question about the weights juniors are expected to pick up and carry. I recently ran my first sprint at Henley and absolutely loved the entire race. It was awesome, but the biggest obstacle I faced were the 4 weight obstacles: the sandbag, bucket carry, Herculean hoist, and the Atlas stone. I managed to complete 3 of the 4 carries, but was unable to pick up the 40-kilogram Atlas stone. Although with better technique, I could do it this year. I was very happy with my success rate, but this was only achieved by weight training that I started 18 months ago, something that is not possible for every single junior. With Spartan changing the age category for Beast, do you think they should be looking at the weights for juniors moving across from the competitive wave to adult Spartans? Oh, and finally, go Rumble.
Well, there we go.
That is a good question.
Yeah, it is. And also thanks for what you said at the start as well, praising us. Thank you.
Thank
Definitely
you.
take that as well.
Yeah. Do you want to answer this one, Finn?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll say yes straight away. Yes, I agree completely. The weights is a difficult thing, especially you compare like the ages. I think everyone knows this. You look at the adults compared to children, and to carry the same thing is just it's something silly to ask for someone so young to do. So the fact you have to train those weights can be dangerous, especially doing adult weights being such a dangerous thing for a child to do. It is a task, and personally, from my point of view, yeah, they should change the rates, and the weights should be completely changed to benefit the safety of children and how they're protected so they can actually grow into the sport. Of course, we interviewed Matt, like you said. Sadly, some things were restricted from us saying, but we move on. And yeah, from a personal opinion, the weights 100% should be changed because the main thing is the juniors, like yourself, Flynn, are the future, and support you should be the main goal. Be able to comfort you, be able to get you into the weights that support you well and that are suitable for people of a young age would be the right thing to do. So we can hope Spartan can change that in the future, get the better weights, the more comfortable thing. But for now, we don't know, and I can only apologise for that. But thank you so much for the question. And yes, is the short answer. Yes, you're completely right. That should be changed. I felt very formal saying that. Sorry, they went really like political lawyer kind of sounding thing. Yes,
Somebody said lawyer.
I don't know why I said lawyer, but yeah, I agree. It is a bit unfair with the weights and stuff. It's certainly interesting as well and see where it might turn for the future. But there you go.
It's just a wait and see.
Just was that a pun on purpose? Just wait and see. Did I hear that right?
Wait and see. Huh?
I thought you were trying to do a pun there. Just wait and see. Like wait. I was really excited. I thought you'd finally got into my kind of pun energy.
I didn't even realise I said that.
Exactly. See, you're turning into me now. You can't even help it.
No.
That's exactly what's happening now. You're getting into the puns.
God.
We love it. Just wait and see. That should be on a shirt.
Oh Lord.
Superb. There you go.
Jeez. It's just them things now. It's going through my head. Oh, Let's move on.
Yes. But there you go. A couple of questions there. Just remind everyone once more, message us, speak to us, whatever. We want to hear from you. And that's the thing. We want to hear what you
Yeah.
have to say. So please don't be shy. Send us stuff in. Please. Once again, that's all we want. So
Yeah.
thank you as well. Thank you to Flynn. And of course, Izzy was the one who gave us that lovely
Yeah.
question at the start. So yeah, want to hear from more of you in the future. Thank you ever so much.
Thank
And
you very much, you too.
yeah, that's about this segment done, isn't it?
Yeah.
There we go. We'll see you very soon for a little bit of an interview.
This episode is brought to you in conjunction with our partners Immerse Recovery. They're the home of recovery for everyday and world-class athletes, offering a range of products like ice baths to help you recover, ready for your next workout. And hey, I get it, you might already have an ice bath. But still, check out their website. There's plenty there that might just help you, like a floating thermometer to ensure the bath is extra cold. Or if you're up for an upgrade, their peak performance tub actually lets you lie down. Me, I'm a fan of their microfiber towel hoodie, perfect for stepping out of the bath into something warm. So, head over to immerserecovery.co.uk and use code UKHXR15 for 15% off the entire range. Again, that code is UKHXR15. Immerse Recovery. We go again. And now, back to the show.
Okay, and we are back. So it's now time for everyone's favourite part, the special guest. Go on, Finn, take it away.
Yeah, I'd love to do the introduction once more. So here we go. We're back with another young star shining brightly in the OCR world. She isn't afraid of heights. After all, she's well adapted to standing high on the podium in first place. OCR deeply written into her DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Izzy Young.
Hi guys.
Finn's getting all the intros as normal.
Yeah,
Doing
been working
them.
hard on them.
Working really hard. So we'll get straight into the questions today, I think. Just go straight in. So I'll start. Obviously, Izzy, I think you've been doing OC. I've known you since you probably started OCR.
Yeah,
I think I've known of you and obviously of your dad.
yeah.
So explain, how did you actually get into obstacle course racing?
So first of all, my mum joined ladies class at Wild Forest. So me and Cameron decided to go along. I was 6. So we did a kids club at the Wild Forest and I really enjoyed it. So I started doing nuclear rookies, and then I think around the age of 10 I started racing competitively, and I did one Spartan open wave, and then I moved on to the pro waves for Spartan, and I just kept going on from there, really.
Yeah. Oh, voice crack, sorry.
Yeah,
obviously I think most the way the kids really get into OCR is starting off in the open wave and then progressing further and further in.
Yeah, because when I was racing the open wave, I could see, my dad could even see I had potential, because in the open wave, I was getting first or second out of all the kids.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just took it from there, really. I knew I could do well, so I just decided to go into the pro wave.
And you're not wrong there, though. You definitely did do very well after that, of course, especially this year, for example. Many victories already. So in terms of the rest of this year, what have you got next? What's the next plan for you?
I've got British champs next, so I'm starting to focus on that, and then I will actually have been a double weekend because I'll have Spartan the next day after that, and then hopefully I'll be doing summer nuts, and I'll have Costa Rica, so I'm going to Costa Rica, and then I'll be doing some just races at Rude Rampage, all that, and then I'll be doing all the Spartans.
Yeah, nice. Especially Costa Rica. That's gonna be a nice one, definitely. The weather and obviously the racing as well. But
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, so going back to how you said you want to do summer nuts. Obviously you did winter nuts for the first time. How did you find that?
Yeah. So my goal was just to pass the finish line because I knew I had to like deal with the cold and it would be really, really cold. And yeah, so I kept my bib all the way up to the end and I lost it on Valkyrie, which was quite disappointing as it was like 5 meters away from the finish. But I got my goal and yeah, I was happy with it because I dealt well with the water. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, so you
Thinking,
did, yeah, you did superb there. I mean, I really shogged the water, so
yeah, I was
yeah,
gonna
you
Yeah.
say,
did really well.
Finn can tell us how cold it really was because
Yeah, Dave was pretty much resuscitating me at the end. He was literally just pumping the blood back into my body, literally had to just strip me off, put me in warm clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember at Valkyrie, I heard someone say, "Oh, two people have got hypothermia," and I was like, "What? What did I just hear?"
one of them was Finn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the weird thing is, I'm probably still gonna sign up for next year's Winter Nuts. After
Yeah.
all that, I'm still gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love Hunter nuts. But yeah, so obviously we've talked about what's coming up, but let's look about like the past now. What are the highlights that you've got so far in OCR?
Definitely Tarson Warrior.
Yeah.
Viso.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel like British champs as well, because I came first in that one. And yeah, like I feel my favorite race and like was Tartan Warrior because I was up against some competition. Like on the first day, I was not even expecting to podium because I was against 17-year-olds. I mean, I didn't know how many 17-year-olds there were actually, but I just, yeah. So when I came first, I was quite surprised actually, but I was really proud. So that's definitely a highlight for me. I mean, going back to FISO, on the 3K, I didn't keep my bands. So yeah. But then on the team race, that was definitely a highlight for me because I kept all three.
Yeah.
And I feel like that race went so much better than the 3K because I just feel like as I've already like had a go in the obstacles, I just like smashed it really.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned as well the British champs. What was that like? Be able to call yourself like the British champion for your age. How did that feel? Was that quite nice?
Yeah, that was definitely exciting and like I know like I just never think I'd be British champion, so it's definitely a really nice thing to say. Be like,
Mhm.
oh yeah, I'm British champion for my age, and like, yeah, because I'd never think I'd get here. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's quite a nice title as well, isn't it?
yeah,
It's quite a nice thing to. Oh yeah, yeah, no, I'm just British champion. It's
yeah,
quite a nice thing just to flash about.
yeah.
But yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, let's move on a bit now. Gotta think of things now. My mind's going blank. Oh
Oh,
God.
I've got something, and I wanted
Go
to
on
bring it
then.
back. Sorry again, you said about Belgium. You mentioned what the race was like and the team race, but what was it like racing people from different countries, different nationalities? What was like the event as a whole like? For example, for me, like the flag ceremony and everyone coming in, that felt quite surreal. So not just the
Yeah.
racing, but the event. What was that quite like for you?
I feel like it was just amazing to experience like everyone coming from different countries just to be here. And I feel even when I'm racing, I didn't really take in many people around me from different countries. But when I was looking back at the videos, like all around me, there was people from Belgium, from like Italy, everywhere. And it was just amazing to watch because,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And I mean, it's got to be one of the best weekends I've had because like everyone was there, like supporting everyone, and it was just so nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I personally loved it as well, speaking to all different people from different countries. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll be honest, I probably chatted a bit too much. I think people in the UK might know me sometimes, but I chat to people in races. And on
yeah,
the 50
Mid
and on the
mid race.
15K.
I've seen
Yeah.
that video.
And yeah, there's a lot of videos. There's a lot of videos people know. Me shout at my mum, one of them. I think people have seen that. But on the 15K, there's a Spanish guy, and me and him were going back and forth, and he went off quite quick and going up this
Yeah.
hill. I can't laugh now. I went past him, he had like his two cameramen with him as well, like recording him. As soon as I went past, I went, oh, hola. And I realised I didn't know any more Spanish. And he started chatting to me in Spanish. I was like,
Finn,
what to say? I went, see you in a bit. I just sprinted off up the hill. Half wanted to beat him, half from embarrassment. I just sprinted away. But he's probably
That's
started
the
chatting to me in Spanish.
that's
I was
the thing. If you say one thing to them in their language, they're gonna think that you know the language.
¿Cómo estás? I know that's Spanish. I know what it means. Some listening can translate.
You're gonna laugh if it
Yeah.
means really bad now.
But come on.
No,
I don't know what that means. But yeah, that's
Why do I
certainly
laugh?
interesting.
No, it's how are you?
That's it. How
How
are
are
you?
you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is he known
uh,
Spanish?
Très bien. It's French. I don't know. The point being,
Finn's gonna start speaking to someone in Spanish and then switch to French.
yeah, okay, all the languages. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it was great. All these different people, nationalities, languages. It is a superb event, and it really was a special moment in the sport.
Yeah.
Sorry, my watch started going crazy then. Let's move on. We'll go on to the question because we always take forever to talk about this subject, the team event.
Oh yeah.
This one we always take so long, so I reckon we should just get straight into it. So obviously you've listened to some of them before.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna want to hear your junior team and then your worldwide team.
Okay, so I mean, there's so many juniors I could pick. Like there's just too many. Like, I mean, Jesse's really good at the obstacles. There's so many people. Like, there's so many people good at the obstacles. Like Harry, Alexander, like Ole. Ole's good at the obstacles, and there's just so many people. Like, but I feel like if I had to pick
Pick two people to go with you.
so I'd pick myself for the speed. I feel. And then I pick Harry for the obstacles.
For technical. Yep.
Yep. And then I probably pick Flynn for strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good team there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to add a girl in there, I'd probably pick Lauren MacArthur because I did the team race with her.
Yeah.
And she's so fast. She's like amazing
So
at the obstacles.
Would you put her on speed or technical often?
I
So if you had to do, okay, say an all girls.
Who are we subbing out?
Yeah.
Who you kicking out? No, that's a bit mean. If you had to do an all girls team, we just went really vicious then. If you had to do an all girls team, who would it be? You,
Yeah.
Lauren.
Yeah. And then
Who else?
I don't know because I need someone for strength, and like I don't really know who I'd pick. So I probably pick I feel like I pick Isla.
Isla, yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, I did the team race with Maria and Lauren, but I don't know. There wasn't really any strength
obstacles, yeah,
in the team race, so I don't really know where everyone kind of like shines in that category. But
that is good. Okay, then your worldwide one. This one you can pick any adult.
Yeah, can they be from the UK as well?
Anyone.
Okay. So I'd probably pick Nicole Miracle.
Yeah.
And then I'd probably pick
do an all girls team first.
Yeah. Nicole, me, and then probably Ida.
Ida, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mixed team.
Mixed, I'd probably do me, Leon. And probably I don't know, there's so many people out there like Lindsay Webster and everything.
Yeah.
I'd probably pick.
She that's saying we don't know if we obviously know she's gonna come back to OCR because she's never gonna leave it.
But isn't she pregnant at the moment?
She's pregnant at the minute. So it's like one of them you don't know when she'd come back.
Yeah. So I'll probably pick you.
Thanks.
I saw how good you did with Nicole and Lindsay at OCRWC. So
thanks.
Yeah.
Finn.
No, out again.
So yeah, that would probably be my worldwide team.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Just a mix of people.
Yeah. There is a lot of when you actually think about it, when you want to do a team race and you think about the top people you would want to do a team race with, there is a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just take into perspective. Because I was like, the weekend just gone, I was looking at some of the top elites that were there, like Jesse DeHare. Oh my God, why is his name going out my head?
I don't know, but we're looking obviously at nuclear, of course. Leon was there.
Yeah.
Like we have the first time in a while, I've had like people from other countries come to nuclear, which was quite nice, of course. Even though the nuclear and had Leon there being one of the best in the world, obviously we had our own Dan Titcombe beating them, which was quite impressive for us and ask. Actually, was it Dan Titcombe? I'm not really sure now. Remember, no, because if you listen to Who's Hot, wasn't it Chris Shipley in a Leon Cofield costume getting seconds though? Do you hear about that?
Oh yeah.
You heard about yes.
Yeah.
Chris Shipley, I think, actually got second. So was Leon even there? I'm sure Chris Shipley is listening to this and thinking
Libby's so lost right now.
Yeah, Libby's lost. Libby, you need to listen to podcasts. Come on, you got to catch up.
Hurry!
There's our very own Shipley getting second though. But all jokes aside, obviously, like you said, getting all these national athletes. Often it's been Brits travelling to other countries. Of course, we've seen Shy, for example, going to Spain. Imi also going to Spain.
Yeah.
I've gone hang on before. Yeah, Becky as well. So often it's us Brits travelling to other countries, but having Leo.
Fede was travelling this weekend as well.
Fede as well, yeah. But obviously nuclear, we had Leon come in. We had Blockland, who's a young Dutch boy. We had, I think, a Russian athlete as well, I think he was, who turned up. So 3 internationals, so all very competitive, which is great to see because it always used to be us going to the more technical European races. For the European athletes to come to us is a really good sign and great sign for the sport and showing it is actually growing and getting more and more technical in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back onto the questions.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, Finn. You ask one this time.
Okay, I'm going to ask. Well, I spoke to your dad about this a couple of times, Alex, and Brentford Beagles, of course, athletics.
Oh yeah.
You run for them, athletics. How has that affected OCR? How's that helped it, supported it? Maybe clashed with it as well, though. Of course, you have like events on the same days. So how's it all work?
Yeah. So like I've been going quite a bit, and it's definitely helped my running. So yeah, I go with a couple of my friends, but it's definitely helped with OCR, but it's kind of clashed as well because I can go to my dad's group, but they want me at events. So it's one of those things where on a Sunday morning, do I either choose to go PT Barn, Rumble, down to our forest, or I go to one of the events. So it's definitely helped a lot. And yeah, I will definitely keep going. So
yeah, because it's one of the main things. It's so hard to hit everything in. We mentioned so many times, especially as juniors, obviously school, things like that. But when you have so many different priorities and things that fit into it, it's so difficult.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on a little bit more now because obviously I run for Culture Harriers. I think Harry Jeffrey, of course, Sophie Jeffrey, other OCR athletes who run for the club. It's such a difficult thing to mix in, especially like events like athletics, because they want you to turn up, obviously you train for them.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, when I started running, I wasn't a runner. I literally started running because of OCR. I wanted to try and improve. But over the years, I've now become one of the top runners at the club. So they want me to be at events. So it's such a tight thing to pick between the club that obviously have built you up and trained you compared to things you've actually wanted to train for OCR. So it's such a difficult balance. It's difficult, but yeah.
I love how no one can see us obviously, but I love how Finn's just used air quotes as he said top runner.
Yeah, I wouldn't call myself a top runner. I'm like just above middle because in OCR, I'm obviously catching up with the adults now at a certain range, and like they're still a little bit faster. I say a little bit faster. Some of them are just flying ahead of me, but I'm closing in on them. But then I go to athletics meet, like an SAL with all adult athletics runners, and they're just another level rapid. Yeah, I just watch them go ahead of me in a 5,000. I'm like, yeah, they're gone. So yeah, there you go.
I've been watching Izzy run lately. I know this is going to sound really weird and creepy, but yeah, obviously Izzy, because obviously you run with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And you have a lot of people that can help you with the training, obviously. Because obviously I went away with this weekend with Jack and Tamar. Yeah. Obviously Jack's your coach.
Yeah.
And you do training with Tamar, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain exactly what you do? Because when I hear about it, I'm like, it's a really good way to train.
Yeah.
So do you want to explain that into a little bit more detail?
Normally, because like Jack's my coach, so he normally sets workouts for me to do. And normally me and Tamar do our tempo runs together as well. So I normally help Tamar like to push herself, and she helps me just to keep on going and just to do like really well. And then on Tuesdays, what we normally do is meet up at the Wild Forest, and then sometimes like Jack normally puts in like a 20-minute warm-up run. So we go do that. And then Tamar actually puts in a workout for us to do. So sometimes we like focus on strength, like on the obstacles, or we just focus on technical stuff, or we just like go on obstacles that we need to practice. So like for Challenge Cup a few weeks beforehand, we were just going around all the obstacles, like testing them, like and yeah, so it's definitely come in handy. Yeah, I would say Tamar's a better coach than Jack. No,
That's Jessica Joyce there throwing
yeah,
stuff in.
yeah. So Jack is definitely a good coach, and like, yeah, he's always got me doing something, and yeah, he's definitely helped with OCR and stuff. So, because first I actually started with King Grip.
Yes.
So
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so Jesse and Sean were really supportive and giving me workouts, and then I kind of lost a bit of love. Like I didn't like the training, so I went to training like twice a week, and then I kind of stopped. And like I think it was after British Champs, after FISO when I lost my band, I was kind of like, because we were thinking about it for a while, like getting Jack, and I was like, oh, I really want to get Jack now, and I knew I had to step up my training quite a lot. So yeah, we got Jack. I've been on it every week. So yeah.
Yeah, nice. I remember I chatted to Jack a little while back as well, time to time. I remember he said to me, OCR is about 99% running and 1% obstacles. Would you like to agree with that? Is that how he bases training as well, along that kind of system?
Yeah, so normally I get running, and then I only practice obstacles once a week on training Tuesdays, and then I normally go down to like either PT Barn like or Wild Forest on Saturday. And yeah, so normally my training plan is either running or strength.
Yeah. Obviously, because I'm also with Jack as well, and to be fair, because Izzy's at my house at this moment as we're talking, and we did training yesterday, and we did because I raced at the weekend. I had an easy run to do, so we did an easy run, but then we went to the gym, and we did balance work and grip work, and I think most of the training that we do, I think you have to do your running. If you don't do your running, then you're gonna see yourself slowly drop. I think having the grip work and the strength work is good up there because that helps you get further. But you also need to have that running going up as well.
Yeah.
Because there's some part of obstacle racing that you're gonna have a good. Because take Spartan for example, you normally have a massive section of running, then the obstacles, running, then obstacles. So I think it's good to have that running side because otherwise you're going to see yourself catch back up on the obstacles, but then drop back down when you go to the running.
Yeah, and that's exactly that. Compare the time it takes an obstacle 5 seconds quicker, but one athlete does a 17-minute 5K, the other does like a 21. The running will make the difference there. So it is definitely the main focus. But obviously, when it comes to European races, like
You need the obstacles.
yes, sorry, yeah. When it comes to European races, with having a three-band system as well, that goes to show exactly how much obstacles can matter as well, though. When reflecting on myself back in Italy, all those years ago, the European Championships, I had a good running start. I had good pace. I was with the pack quite comfortably, and then just 3 bands burn on the 3K, and I was like, "What on earth was that?" Because I don't know if it took me by surprise. I'm really reminiscing now. Sorry about this, everyone. But yeah, it makes you think as well because the obstacles are important and it's such a tricky balance to contain them both. I mean, recently for myself, I've done a lot more running than obstacles. I sprained my wrist and only recently because I cheated on OCR with football. So that got me a little bit injured. So I've been mostly running. But it is such a difficult balance because you can focus on running, come back to obstacles, feel fatigued, tired, or struggle. You got obstacles a bit too much, you come back into running, feeling fatigued, tired. So it's such a tricky balance to have, especially when we have such a newly breaking out sport like OCR. Obviously, there's some top coaches like Scotty, like Dave, but the thing is, there isn't that professionalness as it is in other sports like running. There's so many coaches, physios, every little thing, pacing, etc. We've been such a new sport. We haven't got any official balancing guides between the two. We're still very much testing our training, seeing what works, what doesn't. So yeah, it's such a bizarre balance. You need to make sure it works out. And I realise now I've been talking for a really long time. That was just me going on a rant there. That was like,
We went very
Yeah,
serious.
that was like philosophical.
We do that every episode. We have one really serious bit.
Yeah, that was like ancient Greek kind of knowledge. I don't know, but
Did you say ancient?
yes, they sounded like wise words in my head. I might listen back to the podcast now and sound like an utter donut saying that, but in my head,
Yes.
that
It
was really clever in my head. So I'm really hoping
it came out.
Yeah, good. Everyone listening took that as really good advice and wasn't just thinking, what on earth this guy on about? I'm hoping people understand.
Yeah, let's hope.
I just chatted nonsense, and everyone's probably just thinking, what is he on about?
Okay, back to it.
Yeah, please.
Obviously, well, Finn, obviously you said slightly that you obviously did, like you hurt yourself from football and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy, is there any other sports that you do?
I do netball, and then I do athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mainly do netball, apart from OCR.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really interfere with my training much because I go training on a Wednesday night, and that's actually pretty late. It's from like 7:30 to 9 o'clock, so I can still do workouts beforehand, and I don't really go to matches anymore. But like I used to go to matches all the time, but because I'm not free because of races or any of them, like I just don't really have the time to go to matches. But I still continue on my netball and stuff.
Yeah, and that just once again shows that hard balance because I'm sure people listening as well, a lot of the juniors, for example, I mentioned again Harry because I know him quite well. He obviously plays football a lot as well. I love football. I think a lot of the lads love football, love playing football. It makes it such a hard balance. I myself gone to OCR from gymnastics, and that's eventually just dropped down throughout the years.
Oh yeah, I forgot you did gymnastics.
Yeah. I used to do like 6 hours a week. I'm now down to 2, probably dropping to about 0 soon because you haven't got the time and it's so hard to pick a sport and dedicate to it. I mean, I love OCR, but if someone said to me I could swap all my OCR talents to become a professional footballer, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'll be honest. I'd just be,
Would you?
Yeah, I would. I too love. If everyone sees me celebrating OCR, proper passion because I imagine in front of a stand I've just scored a goal in a World Cup final. Like that's how I feel when I'm on obstacles. That'd be my dream to be like a professional athlete in like football. So it's such a temptation. You've really got to just try and focus one thing, and it's so hard as well because we don't know where we're going. If this is to be an Olympic sport, it's going to be professional. Currently, there's no like proper investment into it, especially for the juniors. It's such a risk to have to focus so much time onto this, but you could be focusing on a sport that, well, let's not sugarcoat it, is more professional, is more wealthy, or maybe even a job or a career. To put so much time to this sport that's still growing, it is such a risk, but just gotta hope it pays off.
Yeah, because I was actually talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about because it was on a podcast actually, and I was talking to her, and she does a podcast for female sports, and we're talking about how most females drop off at sport at the age of the age of 13 to 16. That's where you see most juniors, more women than men, drop off in sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, I think it is a good one to do and to show that it's not, you're going to have people that drop off, but it is crazy sometimes on how many people would drop off. And I think when you look at not just females, but also males, and you look at how many we're getting in the juniors, we're getting so much more now than we had when me and you did kids races. Ben,
Mm-hmm.
there
Yeah.
was what, 2 females and 4 males, would I say?
Yeah, maybe less on certain events.
So there's not many. And then now you look at Izzy's age category. There's
Mhm.
what? How many would you say, Izzy?
Girls or
Girls.
probably about 10.
There's loads more now, and you can see it because obviously you race
Yeah.
with some of the juniors and
Yeah,
all of that.
15 to 20, I would say, like all different levels, really. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you had to get people into, I know we've never asked this question before and it's just come to my head. If you had to get people into OCR, how would you do it? I know it's like a hard question.
So what I would do is I'd probably send them to nuclear.
Send them to training facilities.
Yeah, send them to training facilities. If they like it, I probably try and push them into doing open waves in a race that interests them, like whether it's like Spartan, which is just no mod, just obstacles with a bit of running, or nuclear, where it's like all mod and it's just like full of like trenches, all that. So I'd see what type of races that would interest them, and then I get them to test it out. If they're good at it, or like not so good, but they want to like really
Have a go
improve,
at it.
then I'd probably just like say, oh yeah, you can train with me sometimes, and we'll like try and get you better. And
Put like little classes on.
yeah, put little
Yeah.
classes on, get them to just practice, and like get them to go out their comfort zone a bit.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
yeah, like
I think that's a good way. And I think another way is having the number of role models.
yeah,
Yeah.
That is also a next bit. So obviously, Izzy, that having role models, I think, plays a big part in it.
yeah.
Obviously, you may or may not have role models, but like, if who inspires you to carry on doing the sport and getting better at it?
Well, when so I've got a few people in mind actually. So when I see like Tamar, Fede, Becky, and like Shyla, Imi, when I see them all racing, I just feel like I want to be like them someday. Like I want to be racing like them and like getting top positions because they're just so good at it. And like they're all really good in their own way. Like Shyla went to like with Becky went to Spain,
Yes.
and did she come up second in one of the
I think she got I think she got first in the, because obviously it was the Spanish series, was it?
Yes, it was Spanish Champs 14K Elite. She finished first.
And that's
Yeah.
in
Medieval Extreme.
the international wave. That was the international podium, wasn't it?
I'll be honest, I'm just quickly scrolling through Instagram in desperation to find it. I yeah.
think it was no, I think it was podiums for people who weren't Spanish.
Nonetheless, incredibly impressive though, especially with the technical ability
Yeah.
of those obstacles out there.
And to keep the bands as well.
yeah,
So
like I saw one breaking that it was like 10 meters long, 15 meters.
yeah, it's crazy when you look at the rigs in different
Yeah.
countries compared to what I think every
Yeah.
different country is different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I can't lie, I do like a bit of European obstacles
Yeah.
because like
Mhm.
especially at Heart and Warrior, like at the end it had quite European obstacles. Like I love a rig with some wheels in it,
Mhm.
and yeah, so it had a wheels rig, it had a Captain Hook, and then it had the firefighters, which was in FISO.
Yeah. I
So
remember like looking at things like that as well. You say that like FISO, Tauros, of course, is getting a little more popular in the UK now.
yeah,
But like events like Hang On, we see these long technical obstacles. And for me, I think that defines what OCR is. I think that is what we want OCR to be. I mean, you come to the UK, you don't want people to say, "Oh, OCR, yeah, I know, Ebenezer." You don't want that. You want to, you want to have the focus on the obstacles. But you see what I mean? Like, you don't want that mud side. We need to separate from like this mud side of it and make it that more technical thing. We wanted to have that technical image. So yeah, to be more like those European races, have that technical is what we'd love to see.
Yeah. Is Hang On even on this year or not?
I think it is. I'll have to double check, but I'm 99% sure it is again. So
It
everyone
was
listening.
crazy the amount of hang on were at Sandboot this weekend.
Mm,
I mean, but it was quite interesting to watch them do a Spartan race.
yeah.
And I couldn't stop laughing. Jack was telling me about how Jessie De Here would go up to an obstacle and go, "What do I do?" And it shows because like when you look at it, like because I was taught, me and Jack were talking to Jessie De Here, and who was it who won?
It was I've seen
He
this
won
before,
both. He's sort of literally is one of the top in the world, and I've got his name.
Mm-hmm. But I need to go to show as well, though, while you continue thinking, the difference between Spartan and the race they normally have in the Netherlands. And I want to get into the divide and the split in OCR because these Dutch, we've seen them at the champs. They are the best of the best. They train to the max. They push themselves to the limit. And that makes you question, is Spartan the future? Because there's such a variety in OCR and that's so hard to bring it to things like the Olympics because you want to have Olympic courses, you have to summarize so smallly. But how can you make a sport so varied, so compact in the Olympics, these differences? So it definitely was interesting to see, yeah.
Oh my God. Because my dad was talking to someone and he does running naturally, but he was like, "Oh, I don't really not like I don't really like OCR because you don't with the obstacles you don't really know what to train for."
Mm-hmm.
And I mean my dad was like, yeah, like I guess that just makes it more fun because you don't know what to expect and you have to like practice everything and like I don't know. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what obstacles are going to be at the European Championships this year.
Yeah.
Well, they've released a couple, haven't they? They look very interesting. So yeah. But
It's
yeah,
gonna
there
be
you
good.
go.
But yeah, okay, going back to how OCR is a very close. I think mostly everyone in OCR were really close together.
Yeah.
And you've got the OCR community, and I think that plays a big part in the sport.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't know how to word it. Obviously, what
Makes
do
it
you
unique, doesn't it?
yeah, what do you think about like the OCR community? Like,
Yeah. Like that's like another reason why I love the sport so much because like it's just so supportive and like even though you're racing against them afterwards, like you'll just fist bump them, you'll be like, "Well done," and like yeah, it's just so supportive and you can see like with your sister Jessie, if we both never done OCR, I wouldn't have met her.
yeah,
And like we wouldn't have been friends because we just wouldn't know who.
yeah. Now you two are absolutely inseparable. It's quite funny, Finn. I'd wake up on a Friday morning and I'm like, "Morning, Izzy." She's on the phone to Jess at like 6 a.m.
Well, that is good though, to show the community though, and that really does represent how close everyone is in OCR. I think it does make it really special and does make it unique. And of all the things I've said today, I've had a couple of complaints at points about it, but it does show it really is special and it's a really lovely sport and it shows why we all love it so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is good.
Mm-hmm.
As Finn says, it's an OCR infection.
Let's not go down that road again. Let's stay away from that.
I'm never gonna let it go.
I know.
Ever.
It's an interesting thing. Call the doctor. I don't know. It's a bizarre sounding thing, but yeah. Continuing on and away from the OCR infection, there's social distance from that saying. Yeah, it's a good little pun.
Oh.
Anyway, you mentioned before about Costa Rica. Are you excited about that? What do you think it's going to be like, especially the environment as well? Talking about the climate, different. It's a completely different racing climate we've seen before. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be quite hot, but we're racing in a stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and so I don't know how that's gonna work out because it'll be 3K. So we don't know if we're gonna go out. Like we'll probably go out the stadium, but I just don't know how
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna work. And like I haven't really thought about it much because I need to see the obstacles first to
Mm-hmm.
train. And yeah, like I'm really excited for it because I just really want to keep my bands because
Mm-hmm.
because that was my main goal for last year. But I feel like I went out a bit too fast. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna focus more on the obstacles and I just want to get the obstacles because and yeah, that's the main bit I'll be training for because I've been training for the running. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I'm just like really excited because and I feel like the climate it will be all right. Like it might be a bit humid at times, but it should be
Mm-hmm.
fine.
Do you ever feel like you have to kind of focus on yourself and forget about the competition at times? So you say you're training, you're running, and obviously you build up obstacles. Do you ever get into a race with everyone around you? Do you try and like distance yourself, put yourself in your own mind, think I'm just racing myself? Or do you see a person, try and stick with them? Like when it comes to racing, especially in these elite climates, how does your mind function? How does your body go against these other elite athletes?
Yeah, so when I'm racing, I kind of just distance myself from everyone. I mean, if there is like a girl or someone like 10 meters ahead of me, I will kind of speed up the pace a bit just to catch up to them.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when I'm doing the obstacles, like some people say, like their mind's just all over the place. But when I'm doing obstacles, it's just kind of me and myself. Like I'm not really focusing on anything else except the obstacle. And
Yeah.
it's just, yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone goes on about like, if you do an obstacle at the same time as someone else, they put pressure on you and it just
Mm-hmm.
adds to the pressure. But I don't really get that much, like, because I just kind of zone them out.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And I'm really bad at that, I'll be honest. I think going back to FISO in Belgium, I
yeah,
remember racing off with all the elite in my age, and we all went quite quick at the start, but I've liked my running. I'm quite comfortable with them. And we had the little thing, and we had the rope, and you had like shimmy
yeah,
it along.
yeah,
And I got onto that. I went, okay, right, rope there, stay here, don't lose a band early on. That's stupid. Don't lose a band early on. So I kind of start going along it slowly. And I see these like the Dutch athletes, all these professionals, just chucking it along, just a couple of goes, just already at the end. And I completely, be honest, in that moment, forgot about myself. I just looked around and went, how they do it? And it completely just took me out of the race. I kind of forgot about myself that I was supposed to be racing for myself and just kind of looked at the athletes around me, sort of focusing on myself. So I think that's definitely a flaw of my own. So your ability to just focus on yourself and stay in your own lane is absolutely superb.
yeah. Thanks.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I've not got anything else really. Anything?
Yeah. One more thing I do want to add as well. You talk about what it's like at the start line going off in a race, and you talked about how you are in a race, but in terms of like pre-race, like just before, warming up, being on that start line, how do you feel? What's going through your mind? What are you doing pre-race to get yourself right in the zone?
Yeah, so I definitely do worry before a race. Because I don't know, I don't get that nervous, but I inside I just feel like quite worried. I
Hmm.
mean, definitely on the start line, but before when I'm warming up, I'm kind of just like chilling really. But on the start line with everyone next to me, I'm just kind of like, oh, what if something goes wrong? I like,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, I don't overthink, but I'm just really nervous. But when we set off, like, I'm fine. Like,
Hmm.
just yeah, it's really
Yeah.
weird. 'Cause, yeah, but it's just pre-race nerves.
Yeah, I'll say, Libby, I don't know if you're the same. I kind of like, I have a really weird thing, like I like fluctuate before I've started. So, say I've got like 40 minutes to warm up. I start, oh, that's loads of time. I'm really relaxed. And like 5 minutes later, I go, oh my God, there's not much time. Oh, I've got to start going, got to get running, got to start myself going again. And then a couple minutes later, I'll be like, no, 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 it's fine, relax. So, I feel
Yeah.
quite on edge before a race. And I feel like, especially with timing stuff, sorting out a warm up, like eating at the right time. Don't eat too early because stitch, don't eat too late, you'll be hungry. It's such a complicated balance. And I feel that stress, I think, warming up. I don't know if you feel the same.
Yeah, I definitely feel the stress.
Hmm.
Not as much when I'm warming up. I think warming up for me is I've got into the habit now of being able to do it. I
Hmm.
think for me, the stress more comes on the start line just
Hmm.
before going off. I think as soon as I get running, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's just standing on that start line, waiting for them to say go. I think that's when I get most of the stress. But obviously for you, Izzy, I know I'm going somewhere totally different now, but obviously you've got I think all your family do OCR.
Yeah.
Does that help with being able to train more? Does it help? So obviously it's going to help when you go to races, but like, do you like having all your family doing it?
Yeah, I feel like it definitely does help because at like say at the dinner table, like most of the time we are talking about OCR and just like
Yeah.
training, and it does really help because it motivates me to just keep on the training. But I feel like if I was the only one doing it in my family, I'd kind of be like not loving the sport as much
Yeah.
because it's just I've got no one to talk about it to because if my family didn't do it, I wouldn't really have anyone to talk to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely does help with it, and as well as my brother, like he kind of motivates me to
Mhm.
push the hardest and just like do the best I
You don't
can.
want to, because you don't want to catch you up.
Yeah, like
The,
I don't.
the rivalry between you two is crazy.
Did you? Yeah, at Spartan definitely it was back and forth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely grateful that my family's into it
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
they're the ones who actually, well, pretty much got me into OCR because like they started doing like Nickly races for fun with their friends and
Yeah.
everything. And I just did the kids wave. And then my mum was actually the one who started going to the classes. Then my dad joined. So we went to the Sunday class. And I just went
Mhm.
on Tuesdays, like I said at the beginning. So yeah.
Nice. And I think that is another thing that makes OCR quite unique as well. Of course, your family being very much having OCR written in their DNA almost. I think compared to
Yeah.
other sports, there's a lot of families in OCR, and that's really good. Like look at other competitive sports and say maybe probably the Brownlee brothers in triathlon. I think of those two. Apart from that, I don't really know off the top of my head any other sports that have so many like families involved in it, or at least at that high level competitive scale. So
Yeah.
yeah, for so many families, especially your own, for example, to be involved in OCR, it's absolutely great to see.
Yeah. So
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had a moment of silence then.
yeah.
Jeez. Um, yeah. Obviously, I'm going on now. I'm on it. I've turned into a fin. I've got it going through my head. Um, obviously, you go to a lot of. Obviously, you mostly train at Wild Forest,
Yeah.
and you go to other places occasionally, like
Yeah.
Phil Fit, PT
PT
Barn. I like them. The training facilities are different in their own ways. Do
Yeah.
you find that helps when it comes to training?
Yeah, because like it's just different obstacles really. Like I definitely want to go down to OPP
Yep.
because they've got quite a few different obstacles than like Wild Forest, PT one. And yeah, so I mean it helps in quite a way, but I feel like PT Barn and Wild Forest are quite similar.
Yeah.
And then Jack's place, yeah, it's definitely
They're all got their own
unique.
unique bits that help with in different ways, I think.
Yeah.
Hmm. And we're
Have you
talking
got
about like, yeah, I'll say we're talking about OCR training places as a whole. Obviously, they're slowly expanding and get more and more across the UK. Do you reckon that's kind of like key to the growth of our sport? Obviously, attachments, rigs are expensive, so it's so hard to get these training places. Like you compare it to sports like football, it's very simple to have two goals at the pitch, you're done. So if OCR being an expensive sport with attachments, rigs, do you see these training places being so special and unique, being such a key part of OCR as a sport?
Yeah, because like I guess it just helps in a way, and like there's so many great places that no one has really heard of,
Hmm.
and like say like there's so many people in Billericay, for example, that do not have a clue, or probably do not have a clue what PT Barn is, but it's like massive. If you like, you've been there, it's like absolutely massive. And
Hmm.
I mean, it's different for Wild Forest because they've always got birthday parties or things down there. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, it is really interesting as well. I'd say a story about PT Barn actually. I think I probably went there after I started athletics, and literally, I think Scotty will know this. I think some people might know this as well. There's One Tree Hill, which is a
yeah,
cross country venue every year, and I had absolutely no clue where PT Barn was until there. And you literally pretty much drive past it. People who know PT Barn's on a roundabout. You go next exit on
yeah,
a roundabout. So there's almost these OCR places that are just almost
hidden.
undiscovered by the world. Like
Yeah,
weird. But yeah, and I can only imagine somebody who doesn't do OCR just driving past and seeing an OCR training place, of course, like Field Fit down by Suffolk Food Hall. What must go through their mind? What they must try and process seeing all these crazy obstacles everywhere. But
yeah,
yeah.
because like definitely when I'm going down to Wild Forest, like it's like basically like a hill, like a dog trail
Hmm.
next to it, and sometimes I see some people like walking their dogs and just like staring at me or something, doing the obstacles, and I'm like, yeah, so it would be quite interesting to see like if they think we're crazy or they'd actually be quite interested in it.
Most people would say no, they're crazy.
Yeah,
Also, wait, you pay to do this. You pay to get cold and muddy. Is that what they
yeah,
kind of say? Something like that. They're very confused by it.
yeah,
Oh dear.
but
Yeah. I think I'm out of questions.
there's any more questions?
Uh, I've been done. Yeah, after everything I need to say, I think I've been
I've got one.
done.
Have you got any questions for me and Finn, Izzy?
Um,
Well, we haven't. I think we should start doing this.
like, would you like for the both of you, would you say you get like nervous and like just like not nervous on starting because I feel like everybody gets nervous on starting, but like having doubts really in yourself like a few days before the race or
That's good.
Mhm.
Do we get doubts before the race?
I definitely do. I think I get doubts not just before the race, but even in the race. And it's something that it frustrates me because something that I don't want to have. I want to be confident 24/7, but my
Yeah.
mind kind of just lets it leak in. So I did Danish altitude a little while back. I think Libby, you were there as well, weren't you? Was that a year ago? Danish altitude?
Which one was that?
I don't know. All I remember is in Denmark, which probably isn't very helpful. But the point,
Oh, the Danish
yeah,
champ.
yes, that's it.
Yes.
And free band system. There's this weird little balancy thing into a low rig, and I just went, oh, just gonna chop myself into this. Whoop, fell off. One band gone. This weird obstacle that's hard to reach. At the time, I was still like tiny, so whoop, second band gone.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, there was such a long way to go. I think it was like an 8K race. It's not, it might even been 12. I have to double
Yeah,
check.
yours. It was yeah, because you had to go carry that what was it, a sandbag on that massive loop.
Hmm.
It was that
Yeah.
big loop. So I remember we were flying in. My mum was like, "Oh, Denmark's really flat. It's gonna be such a flat course." Flat course, me. I think they'd given us the most hilliest course.
Yeah.
Well,
But my point being with that is after those two bands were lost, they were quite early on. There was a big like running bit through like woodland, a couple of like basic multiple attempt obstacles. There was nothing really technical until the very, very end. And when I say this is not
yeah,
me talking at the end when I was there. You could see the end because the end was obviously by the start. There was like a row of like four technical obstacles.
I think it was
So
about 100 meters, wasn't it?
yeah. So this whole about I'd say 5K in total of just basic obstacles and running. I was just stuck thinking about trying to survive, knowing that I had to try and survive these obstacles. And the fact is, at the time, I was also in first as well in like the elite-ish wave. They're not they're super elite. They're like this semi. I don't know how it
Yeah,
worked.
they
The
had
point
they had
is,
like a super elite, elite, and then the like age cap, normal age.
yeah. But at the time I was leading this, I wasn't expecting that. And having the fact that I was leading the race, 100 meters to go, one band left, all of that, but so much pressure and stress on my mind for that 5K. And I went through points where I felt confident, went through points where I felt negative, and it was such a hard balance. So this has been a really long way of saying you can feel stress, you feel worry, nerves before a race, but also in a race as well, because it's such a mind-focused sport as well. Be able to put your mind in the right place, be able to keep running and keep completing obstacles.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think before a race, you'd always get the stress and the doubts of, oh, what happens if this happens, this happens. I think definitely in the race is a good one. I think Spartan is such a good example for this, for the spear throw. I think if you had to have a down any race, it would be Spartan spear throw. I think everyone, I think there's one or two people that'd go, oh, I always forget about it. But everyone, when they're running, they're like, spear throws soon and no spear throws coming up. So we haven't seen spear throw yet. Where's spear throw? Is it near the end? Is it in the middle? Is it at the start? I think that's definitely one race that most people have that fear of it.
Yeah, I think that's with a lot of races as well. Certain obstacles. So like people might be afraid of a balance, one attempt. People are afraid of water, maybe a water obstacle. Of course, spear throw, Spartan, the first ever Italian Euros. There was that weird lache thing. I think a lot of people thinking about that when they got to it. The metal lache bar going forward.
Oh, what? Salmon ladder?
Yes, yeah, the one we had to go like forward onto the mat and swing off. Yeah, I think everyone was thinking about that. More recently, FISO, the bar shuffle. No one had seen that for ages until then. So all these obstacles you think about before the race, how you're going to tackle them, but you also think about mid-race, how you're going to tackle them, how you're going to deal with them when you get there. So your mind's constantly awake. I know this is everyone else listening as well, but coming up to obstacles, or even obstacles being kilometers away, you're always thinking, you're always processing, how am I going to do that? How am I going to get past it? So, yeah.
I think that's a very good question, Izzy.
Yeah.
You should take our jobs now. That's better than what I came up with.
Take over.
Take over the question asking. I think we should do that from now on. I think if anyone wants to send any questions in for me and Finn to answer, send them to either the Pint Size OCR Instagram or to me and Finn separately. I think that if you need if you want any questions answering, I think that'd be the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Our door is always open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I'm done with questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I know from different episodes that you've had a question saying what races do you prefer more, Libby?
She's on it already, Finn.
She's better at our job than we are.
She
We've been
is.
doing
Look,
this for
we
ages.
forgot about it, but Izzy's on it. Go on then, Izzy.
I prefer Finley's races.
Oh, come on!
Dang it! That means we're
Yes.
drawing now, aren't we?
Thank you. Thank you.
It's what 2-2.
Yeah.
Oh, go on then. Explain why.
I guess you Finley just focuses more on the UKOCR series.
Yeah.
And Libby, you focus more on Spartans, I would say.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just prefer your races, Finley.
And there we go. For the first time ever, we can say to everyone at home the opposite. We always tell everyone that we're trying to make their parents pay loads of money to go all across the world. But for once, we say the opposite. Stay in the UK, to the UK series.
We're not making people bankrupt, Finn.
Exactly. We're not wasting parents' money anymore. You don't have to always go to Europe. Remember, kids, you can stay in the UK. The UK races are great. You've heard it from me. You heard it from Izzy. See? You don't always have to spend your parents' money.
But worldwide races are good as well.
They are very good as well, yes. When you need to spend the money, spend the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
we'll just do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, do both. That's even better.
Do both and make them even more.
Exactly, yeah, spend even more money. Why not?
And even more. Yeah, I think that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for coming on. So yeah, I think that is the end. And so yeah, it's the end of it all.
I think thank you everyone for listening once again for another crazy podcast and episode. We're very philosophical today, I'd say, some of our points.
Yeah.
But remember, all of you listen to this early on Patreon, well done. You hear this before anyone else does. You're very lucky. Those listening to this a bit later, not on Patreon, you're missing out. Everyone else has got it early. Come on, catch up.
Yeah.
But there you go. Thank you, everyone.
Izzy's got Patreon.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
Listen
And you'll
to
hear this
it
before anyone
early.
else.
Yeah.
Simply
Yeah.
easier.
And now you can get excited about Finley's new introduction next time.
There you
Yeah.
go. Perfect.
She's
Better than we
on
are.
it, Finn.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
promoting us right here.
Take over, honestly. You take the next episode. But
Yeah.
thank you everyone once more. Hope you enjoyed listening. Hope you enjoy your day. We'll see ya next time.
It's a bye from me.
Thank you for listening to Pint-Sized OCR, produced and presented by UKOCR. If you like what you hear, please subscribe or leave us a review. And you can even get your parents to join our Patreon train so you can get your podcasts earlier than everyone else.